Spiritual Life Center, and we're going to sing about it. Here we go.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be.
In the right place.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Please join me in turning around and saying good morning to those live streaming. You're in the right place at the right time.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome.
Oh, my soul is welcome.
Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
I'm getting the message.
I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here.
Your soul,
My soul is welcome here.
my soul,
My soul is welcome here.
all of our souls.
My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here.
Your soul, so
My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome
All righty then.
Good morning, Reverend James.
Good morning, Deborah. Good to see you this morning. And all the souls that are here, welcome by the Spirit of the living God. Everybody's excited. All right.
Everybody is excited. And we greet you this morning in the name of all that is good, all that is holy, and all that is sacred, and in the warm and loving energy of this ministry, Spiritual Life Center. Now, if you are with us for the very first time today or live streaming for the very first time, we especially want to welcome you because we know that you are not here by accident. Every one of us is here by
Divine appointment.
And we're just really excited about today. And we also ask that those electronic devices that you carry with you be silenced so we don't hear a bunch of different ringy-dingies during the service.
Well, if you're ever asked, what are the basic teachings of unity or New Thought that we are a part of, you can tell them this because we've been going over this last couple of weeks and we'll continue doing so you can answer that question when someone asks you randomly. The 5 basic principles of what we believe. The number 1 is that God is absolute good and everywhere present. And what that really means is no opposing power in the universe that's real. The only thing that's real is the presence of God. The second, that people are inherently good because we're made in the image and likeness of God. And there's a spark of divinity within each and every one of us. And therefore, that is our true nature. The third one, probably the most important, is that our thoughts create our experiences. Our experiences are created by our activity of thinking. Not all the thoughts, thank God, don't come true, but the ones we have with feeling and deeply believe begin to outpicture in our life. The fourth is that prayer and meditation is how we connect with God. And prayer is really a form of creative thinking where we raise our vibration to be one with the presence that we call God. And finally, it's more than enough, then we have to do more than just know these principles. We have to live them. We have to live the truth. And those are the things that we say that we believe in. Those are the shorthand, Reader's Digest version. But if you make that as part of your conversation, people have an idea what we're about. You know, this is the season for nonviolence that we acknowledge every year. And it takes place between the anniversary of the deaths of Dr. Martin Luther King and Mahatma Gandhi in order to remind us of the principles that they taught regarding nonviolence in our world. And so each week between the anniversaries of their death, we have a reading about the principles. And today we have a reading that's from a one and only Tess King. And so she's going to share today's nonviolence reading. Oh, you can shake my hand, hug me, whatever you want to do.
Later, Rev. After I'm no longer quite so nervous.
I'll take it.
Today, I am forgiveness in action. Divine Comforter, I'm aware that forgiveness is a gift that I give to myself. By allowing your spirit of loving forgiveness to flow in and through me, from the center of my being to the circumference, and then out to each person who may have wronged me, I bring peace to myself and to others. Love is always at hand. I experience its healing warmth first and then extend it to another. Forgiveness comes from love. I choose today to consciously replace angry thoughts and old grudges with love, serenity, and forgiveness. Help me this day to remember the teaching. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. Today, I release my attachments to old wounding, and I bless the world with peace of mind and love in my heart. You can do that. Mm-hmm. I can do that. Most days, and in most circumstances. I can send love to the person in such a hurry that they need to cut me off in traffic, or the one who says things under stress that they wouldn't otherwise. But what about the bigger things? How do we forgive those? Are we expected to send love to those who have threatened our safety? Even though I don't feel bitterness or resentment toward the man who molested me when I was 2, I don't send him love. Perhaps I could get still and imagine my love spreading out that far, back in time and across an ocean, or even across the veil. But I suspect my effort would feel false. I also suspect it would grow my soul. On the more practical level, I know it's my responsibility to manage my shadow. So when I think of those who have harmed me in these bigger ways, when I wonder where the line is between forgiveness and the safety of good boundaries, I check in with my emotions to look for reactivity. Reactivity is where I find my shadow. Healing that shadow is my responsibility, as I've said, but it's also my road to personal peace. Maybe one day that road will lead me to unconditional love, even for offenders. But I haven't walked on water yet. Thank you.
Thank you, Tess. Thank you. Thank you.
Shake your hand.
This Wednesday, our upcoming WOW program is a Talk the Walk with Reverend Sheri Larkin, and we're calling it Up Your A Game. And I will be interviewing her, and we'll be talking about her spiritual path and how she got to where when you feel afraid or just worn out and just are so tired of trying, what do? And so she teaches you how to not let your feelings or lack of desperation drive you, and how you can turn major downturns into really great upturns. So come in here how you can create just enough surrender, just enough for an opening for God to perfect that which concerns you. The soup is at 6 and the program is at 7.
Sounds great. Just a reminder that this afternoon after our service at 12:45, between 12:45 and 2, we're going to have an update, community meeting. And it's just an update of where we are as far as moving through the mission-centric ministry model that we're moving into as a community, and what it really looks like for us to move to the 21st century of community today. We'll have a video that will be given by Gary Simmons and give us an update on where we are. And if you want to stick around, you can get a light lunch from the choir, and there's also a bake sale, so you don't even have to leave. So we invite you to be part of that. And we have a February Frolic announcement coming up.
Well, good morning, all you beautiful, radiant souls. I'm here to tell you that this is the final day in the courtyard to buy your heart and soul February Frolic tickets. You can save yourself $10 at the door, and we'll be selling them online through Wednesday as well. So please take that chance to take a look at that. I'm here to remind you that how we support this beautiful ministry is through your EFTs and through your offerings on the Sundays such as this. But we really support all of our classes, our events are really through those 100% donations, and we offset it with our classes and with these events. So this is a chance to show your support. Now, the big excitement is we also have a raffle, and we announce that every year. So show the slide. We've got this grand prize raffle, and we only print 100 tickets. So as of last Sunday, you had a 1 in 9 chance to win. So let me tell you how this works. You do not have to be present to win this prize. And hear this. Yes, there's a vacation prize, but did you hear the $1,000 cash prize? If you look at the back of a dollar scratcher, you'll see that your odds are much better here. In the last couple of years, we sold 87 tickets, and the year before, 90. So the odds to win $1,000 is at least, if not better, than 1 in 100 chance. You don't have to come to the Frolic to do that. Help support what we do here every single day to transform lives by getting your ticket in the courtyard. But we hope you will come and join us, because I want my helpers to come up. We have a raffle palooza at this event.
Looks like the partiers are here.
Besides Anne's amazing forethought, and I've got a dance partner, Ginger, somewhere in the room, is going to dance with me at this event. But we have amazing raffle prizes that many of you have donated. We've got custom jewelry, we've got artwork, we have massage certificates, we have sailing trips. So we have many, many donated prizes the night of the event that you have to be present. And you can donate as much as a handful of tickets for $5. You want to find someone with big hands, okay? Or an armful of tickets for $10. Or the best prize deal is an arm and a leg full of tickets for $20. And then you get to choose what prize.
Some help on that one.
And for that donation, you get to choose what prize you want to win. So come and join us. Come frolic with us with your heart and soul. And we hope to see you then.
All righty. Thank you.
This church is just full of bashful people. Have you noticed that?
A lot of frolickers around.
So on Saturday, February 25th, there is another Q Effect training. It is from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And so see your insert or go online to our website to get more information about that.
And we'd like to acknowledge a group of people that are here, always supporting Spiritual Life Center. So I invite our ambassadors, any board of trustees are here this morning, as well as our prayer chaplains. As they stand, just want to remind you that our ambassadors are wearing the rainbow ribbons. And if you have any questions about Spiritual Life Center or want to be pointed in the right direction on how to incorporate yourself into the community, they'll be more than happy to answer your questions. And then we have any of our board of trustees that are here. They may be wearing the purple ribbons on their name badges, and they serve 3-year terms, and they help guide and shape and provide oversight and direction for our spiritual community, and we thank them for their presence as well. And then finally, the important work of prayer is really being facilitated and really radiated from our prayer chaplains. And they hold anyone that would desire in confidential prayer, whether you're going through a challenge or just want to have something that you want to celebrate. They're here to pray with you, and they're available here after the service here in the sanctuary, or you can meet them in the courtyard where I think most of them are. So we thank them for bringing their prayer consciousness to Spiritual Life Center.
And if you're here for the very first time, we are going to ask you to raise your hand in just a moment, but we want you to know about the opportunities that will help you become more connected here at SLC. And you will be given a card. It's a welcome card, and if you fill it out, you can put it in the offering basket or take it outside, and the welcome table is just right around the corner, and if you take it out there, you'll get a very special gift.
So if you're here for the very first time, I just invite you just to raise your hand. We have a special gift to you. Just raise it really high. Just hold it up, wave it, whatever your hand, and they can see you. and we're going to give you a gift, a chalet. And on the chalet, which we invite you to wear so you can get that special greeting from us, on the chalet there's a tag on it that serves as a reminder of who and what we are. And it says that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and there are many paths to the one God. And I think there's someone all the way in the back also that has their hand up, and we thank all the newcomers, the first-timers that are here today, as well as everyone else that is here today, because you are all marvelous, magnificent expressions of God. So I invite you to greet any newcomer that might be near you, as well as each other, and say, you are marvelous, you look marvelous. Normally we do our group song. We're going to do that. Why don't you have a seat for a moment? We have a group of people we want to acknowledge today. Usually we do our group song right now, but we're going to do a little something different because we got some special people in the house this morning, and they're still coming up. We have an exuberant group today. Okay. This is a effervescent group this morning. Seems to be special energy in the air. But someone's holding up the two fingers. What are they doing? YOU and want everybody to pipe down. Live long and prosper. Well, what we have this morning are individuals who have decided to become official card-carrying members of Spiritual Life Center. You know, something, you know, a lot of people become part of Unity. They never, we're not required to be a member, but there's something about when you actually make that commitment that, as Sheri is going to be talking about, you up your game a little bit. You make a commitment like that, and then what happens? The universe will give you all kinds of things for you to even grow even more. Some of them are unexpected, but they're all good. So they've decided to make that leap of faith to be part of this community, to give their time, their talent, their energy, their consciousness, and we want to acknowledge them this morning. So let's just give them a hand, and then first and foremost, and I'm going to invite them and together to read the membership dedication that really tells you and us what it means to be a member at Spiritual Life Center. So let us say that together. A one, a two, a three. Today, I declare membership in Spiritual Life Center. I recognize that this commitment will bring me a deeper level of spiritual growth as I step into a fully committed level of participation in support services, activities, classes, and groups at Spiritual Life Center. I realize that my life will take on a new meaning and purpose. I am aware that this commitment in membership guides me to share my time, talent, and finances with my spiritual home, and that as I give, I also receive. I am committed to living the principles taught by Spiritual Life Center to the best of my ability. I pledge to share those principles with others through my thoughts, words, and actions. Say yay, it says quite a bit. And so at this moment, I'd like everyone to stand. We're going to give them a special Spiritual Life Center greeting and blessing that we always give them. So send them that positive energy as they are coming to really make a difference in this community, ultimately our world, by bringing the consciousness that they have. So let's say that together. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold God's love as you. Thank you all very much for being part of our community in a formal way. And I think you can remain standing. Is that correct?
Yes, please do.
Because we're going to do our group song. So we invite you to join us in singing our group song.
Together. Look into the mirror. What do you notice? Who do you see? God's own expression, manifesting, perfect and holy. I am pure and perfect. I am wonderful. I am love, love, love in the mind of God. I am free and endless. I am beautiful. I am love, love, love in the mind of God. Look into the mirror. What do you notice? Who do you see? God's pure potential, manifesting, holy and fully. I am pure and perfect. I am wonderful. I am love, love, love in the mind of God. I am free. I am free and endless. I am beautiful. I am love, love, love in the mind of God. Look into the mirror. What do you notice? Who do you see? God's peace progressing, manifesting universally. I am pure and perfect. I am wonderful. I am love, love, love in the mind of God. I am free and endless. I am beautiful. I am love, love, love in the mind of God. Yes, I am love, love, love in the mind of God. Give yourselves a hand and please be seated.
Nice energy. Nice energy. So now what we're going to do is we're going to speak together those qualities that we've determined as a community that can be some of the triggers to keeping us from living our full potential with each other and with ourselves. So let us speak that together. Please have compassion for us when we are being not enough, distrusting, grieving, blaming, powerless, or fearful, because this is who we have come here to be, inspired, in integrity, joy-filled, compassionate, unstoppable, generous, and transformational. unfold all those beautiful qualities of shadow and light into our vision statement as we speak it together. Spiritual Life Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people and accepts everyone, no exceptions, weaving ancient spiritual traditions with emerging wisdom. We cultivate a spiritual deepening with the divine, each other, and our planet. And now we take all of that into our time of meditation together.
As we shift into this time of meditation, we breathe deeply, letting these words settle into your soul. You are spirit, holy and sacred. You are love. Allow the fullness of this truth to radiate through you, connecting with our heart space. We soften into this moment, relaxing into peace, breathing in the infinite flow of love. We remember we are sacred. We are love. When we look through the lens of love, we are more patient and kind, accepting and celebrating differences. Filled with grace, we offer forgiveness. Stepping back from impossible expectations, we allow ourselves to be pleased. In the light of love, we laugh and find joy. We smile to strangers and appreciate those around us. Like experiencing the wonder of new love, looking through those rose-colored glasses, the world becomes amazing and exciting, and happiness abounds. All is right with the world. This is the way Spirit loves us, deeply, fully, wholeheartedly. Take a moment to breathe that in and listen as God whispers into your heart. I love you more than you can imagine. And I love you even more than that. I dreamed you into being and created you with care. Your happiness is important because you matter to me. The greatest beauty is who I see in you. Imagine if we could love ourselves that way, centered in the light of Spirit. We are strong, courageous, and free. As we replenish and nurture ourselves, we're able to share our gifts with others, being generous in our love. As Mother Teresa shared her love in service, living it wholeheartedly, believing that love begins at home, in ourselves, in our surroundings, and radiates outward. Love is centered in compassion and endless forgiveness. Love requires action, showing up in service as an expression of love, taking time to do what matters. We let Spirit live through us as we show up in love. And in the silence, I invite you to take time to notice where your love needs to flow. Imagine a world where love comes first, like the ever-present love of Spirit, filling our heart and filling our soul, nurturing our world. Be generous with your love. Teach it to our children and share it with those around you. And so it is.
As 11 years old when I first sang this song on stage at a church talent show. And I remember at that time I would sit in front of the TV and watch MTV, and seeing Whitney Houston sing this song for the first time, it was like that ever elusive self-love that I feel like I've been chasing my whole life. And yet, see, I'll be 45 this year, and I finally feel that I'm just scratching the surface on what that means. And isn't it really the most important love? Because I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride. It'll make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. Everybody's searching for a hero. People need someone to look up to. I never found anyone who fulfilled my needs. Such a lonely place to be. But I learned to depend on me. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I lived as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity, because the greatest love of all, it's really happening to me. I found the greatest love of all inside of me. The greatest love of all. Oh, it's easy to achieve. And to love yourself. It is the greatest love of all. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride. It'll make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I lived as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they'll never take in
I would say that today that song belonged to you. Yes. And it's a perfect backdrop for, I think we need some tissues out here today, you know? We need to make sure we bring some more out here next go round. Perfect backdrop for our theme of the month, which is a radical choice for love. And that was something that the Dalai Lama said, that those who make that choice for love will be the radicals of our day. And of course, it's more than a feeling. It's really that something that is beyond words that binds all of us together. It doesn't know any boundaries. It doesn't cost anything. And when we put our faith into it, all the seeming limitations and things that we think are not possible seem to melt away. You know, this week is Valentine's Day week, Thursday. And of course, people will go to Hallmark and they'll buy millions of cards to send out, and they'll have some poetic statements on there describing what love is, what love does, and how love shows up in their life. And I realized that, you know, just my own experience, that sometimes we have an interpretation of love that's somewhat immature. You know, I've never had that experience in my life, in which we think we have this love and it sours really fast, because it starts out with, you know, singing a song as if it says, "You take my breath away." And soon it may end up saying, "You are suffocating me." It may start out with love at first sight, and then it's overcome by the second glance. We're not talking about love like that. Love is an energetic that's not affected by circumstances or situations. It is something that is changeless. Shakespeare wrote something to the effect that love is not love which alters when alteration finds it. It is an ever-fixed mark that looks on the tempest and is never shaken. Nor is some love an obligation. You know, many of you may know about this story. It's made famous by, I don't know who. But there was a couple that was, you know, they were celebrating their 20th anniversary. And they woke up that morning and the husband wasn't there. And the wife went to look for him, and he was over in the corner, you know, curled up, fetal position, crying. And she thought, well, maybe he's just so ecstatic that he couldn't help himself. And he said, "What's going on, baby?" And he said to her, "You know, about 20 years ago when your father caught us." And he said he was going to do something to set me up, so I'd have to go to jail for 20 years. I just realized I would have been released yesterday. I know it's a terrible story, but I'm trying to say the point is this. There's no obligation. Love is not an obligation. It's a harmonizing force that supports our own or another person's spiritual growth. That's what it really is. And when we can support another's spiritual growth and support our own spiritual growth, I think that's the highest form of love. And today we're going to hone in on a particular aspect of love called the platinum rule of love. We all know about the golden rule. The golden rule simply says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's a wonderful rule encased in every major religion, I think, on the planet. You know, over in the office area, if you walk through the doors, right on the left, there's a big poster. And it talks about the golden rule and has all of the different interpretations of that from all the different religions. You know, from the Islamic religion, the Sunnis, it says, no one of you is a believer until you desire for your brother that which you desire for yourself. In Buddhism, it states that hurt not others in ways that you yourself would find hurtful. And the Hindus write, this is the sum duty. Do not unto others what you would not have them do unto you. Or as we look at the master teacher, Jesus the Christ, he said that love your neighbor as yourself. Those are different ways of expressing the golden rule of love. But there's another rule that we don't have a label for it quite as much. And that's called the platinum rule of love. And the platinum rule of love simply says, treat yourself as you wish others to treat you. Treat yourself in a way that you want the universe to respond to you. That's the self-love that we must give. Because we can never go beyond our own self-love and send out anything more than that to the world. There's a story of an elderly gentleman who had meager means materially, but he was very rich spiritually. He had a very high spiritual consciousness. And he went into an antique store, and this antique store had magnificent, beautiful artifacts and items there. And one of the items there, he used to go in there on a regular basis just to be around it. And there was one particular item, a glass piece, that he wanted to purchase for himself. And he loved it so much that he went up to the owner of the store and asked if he could just pay it on time. You know, I guess it used to be called layaway. I don't know if they have that anymore. When I was a little kid, they used to have layaway. Go to the store and pay a little bit on here, a little bit there. I think nowadays, everything online, they don't play that. You know, you got to pay it all now. But the owner of the store agreed to do that. And so the gentleman would come into the store each week, and some days he would pay a little bit of money, some days he would pay a lot more. But he would show up faithfully so he could purchase it one day and own it himself. And so a few months went by in which he owned that particular piece. And the owner was very curious as to why he would sacrifice the money that he had to buy that, because he knew that he had very limited resources and he needed it for so many different things. And so he asked the question. He was kind of getting into his business. He got a little nosy. He said, why did you do this? Why did you buy this? And he said to the owner of the store that there's a place in my home that I only allow the most beautiful things to exist there, because that is where I live. And I think he's bringing us a message here. We live with ourselves. We want to examine ourselves and see what is it that we allow to come into our own awareness, our own minds, our own consciousness. At the end of the day, how does our memory serve us? Do we remember only the things that went wrong? Do we remember the unpleasant things that people may have said about us? Do we think about only the things that did not go right that day? Or do we allow this mind, this that we have, to be filled with beauty and all the pleasant things that have happened? I think this is an aspect of the platinum rule of love, of wishing others to treat us as we want to be treated, as we treat ourselves. Because whatever we're interested in, whatever we give our attention to, as we looked at those principles, really begin to show up in our life, because we say the spiritual law reminds us of this. Because whatever we give our attention to is the only thing that we ultimately experience, and we take that with us wherever we go. Jesus said in this way, when he said we lay up treasures in heaven where dust and moth do not corrupt. He was talking about a level of awareness of not using our minds to hold fast to the negative, to hold fast to discontent, but use it as a repository for beautiful and magnificent things, and we can do this. I think at times we have to remember just to talk nice to ourselves. I don't know about you, but every once in a while, if I mess up, I may say something negative about myself, and we want to X that out. because we can't expect others to treat us any better than we treat ourselves. So we want to treat ourselves with compassionate hands, say lovely words about ourselves, affirm ourselves. And so every once in a while, we just might want to just remember that God is love, and we want to bring this into our own awareness. And maybe write down on a piece of paper, I believe in God. When we say we believe in God, what it means we're saying, I believe in love, and I believe in the God within me. And allows for our minds to write why. We may write why we do that. Maybe I believe in God because I saw a great sunset this morning, and I'm connected with that. I believe in God because I'm breathing in and out without any effort today, or any effort. You're still breathing. As somebody said, if you wake up in the morning and you breathe on the mirror and it fogs up, that's a good day. It's a good day. We can say that, I have great miracles happen to me. Somebody was healed today. Something good happened to me, to that other person today. And because I am connected with them, I got it as well. And I think when we do that, we have a couple of things happen to us. There's a statement by Dr. Howard Thurman, who was a mentor of Dr. Martin Luther King, but also he was a mystic, a spiritual mystic. And he talked about when we do these things, we have an unconscious awareness and a deliberate intent. And he said that we live so much into God that we develop an unconscious awareness of this all of the time. But we also do something that creates a deliberate intent. We set in motion a way of being in the world. So when we begin to write, I believe in God, I believe in all good, I believe in peace, and we say why, we develop something within us that connects us to that loving presence, and we get lifted up. And it seems to happen without thinking. It starts getting all over us. I was trying to remember that song this morning, and I couldn't remember it, but I think I remember it now, where we'll have that fragrance come all over us because we're thinking and remembering that presence. It says something to the effect, we let the love wash over us. We let. And then we have peace and joy and wisdom. We let it wash all over us because we're all wrapped up in it. We're all wrapped up in it. I think this platinum rule of love, when we begin to make it part of our awareness, there's something that lights up within us and people can see it. And they want to follow you where you are being fed, follow you where you are getting this in your life. And we'll develop our own God stories. And we'll wake up in the morning and we'll look around and see the magnificence that is always there for us. We'll say, well, how did God create all those beautiful people? We'll say, yeah, the people that we like and we get along with, they're our friends. Even the people that we don't like, we don't get along with, they're our teachers. So God is there anyway, all the time. The animals, the trees, the sky. We look up at night and we see the stars of a dark night. We begin to feel and sense this magnificent harmonizing presence that is there for us. So we don't want to beat ourselves up by speaking any harshly to ourselves. We will be practicing mental malpractice when we do that. Sometimes it may happen, we start, we beat ourselves up before God can, We may have flashbacks to a judgmental presence. Wake up in the morning and say, oh, God, let me start beating myself up before you do. I'm a bad person. I did this. I messed up. I made a mistake. Oh, God, I'm a sinner. No, we want to practice the platinum rule of love and affirm ourselves. Affirm the magnificence that we are and look in the mirror and just look in your eyes and say, I love you. When I was going through my own challenges in life, I had a teacher that said that to do that in the morning, every morning, just look in that mirror, just say, I love you. Now, it felt weird for me to say that to myself, but after a while, I started liking it. Yeah, that guy there, he's okay. We are a unique, unrepeatable expression of God itself in the flesh. As I like to say, this incarnation is precious, and we want to treat it like that. Affirm ourselves. I shared, a story when I went to Morocco many years ago, which is primarily a Islam country, where mostly that's where they worship. And this is just on the side. When I was with a group of people, they were kind of looking at me kind of askance, like saying, they didn't know what I was bringing, some sort of theology to try to convert them. And they asked me, what am I a Christian? And I said, well, I follow the teachings of Jesus. And they said, oh, come on in. You're a member of the book. In other words, you're following the principles. But anyway, that was a side story. But what I realized that there were people that were there when I noticed that from what I was understanding with the folks around me, when someone would compliment another person and they would say, oh, you have a beautiful headdress on today. And the person, rather than deflect and kind of diminish it, they would just simply say, it's true, thank you. Or, I love that wonderful dress you're wearing today. And they would say, oh, it's true, thank you. You look radiant today. Oh, it's true, thank you. It's true, thank you. I think this is the consciousness that we want to meet by actively participating in this love energy that is always around us. We must be willing to accept the good that is always in our life and say, it's true, thank you. And I think when we do that, we affirm a couple of things. We're not exalting ourselves egotistically. We're simply knowing that our life at this moment, whatever talent we have, whatever genius we have, whatever capacity to give that we have, is glorifying something magnificent. And we are it. And when we get other people to agree with us in that, when we're engaging other people and acknowledging that, when we say it's true, thank you, we amplify the field for ourselves and for everybody else. We don't want to blaspheme the presence of God by limiting it, because this life is sacred. We want to stand and say it's true, thank you. Because there's great things happening every day. I mean, we didn't have to get up this morning and jumpstart our heart. There's something magnificent happening that got us here today. We got up, came to Spiritual Life Center. And I think the rest of our life can work like that, because we are the instruments, the vehicles, the vessels of this universe becoming aware of itself in this world. God needs us to shine God's light. God's good all the time. Thank you, very God. It's very true. Thank you. That's the open sesame to the goodness in our life. And there's another thing I think we can do to affirm this platinum rule of love is to hone in our gifts, hone in our talents, whatever they might be, and simply go for our dreams, no matter what they may be. Just go for it. Even if we fail over and over again, even if it does not come into fruition, we're making a difference simply because we're going for it. There was a movie that I watched again recently that came out, I think, in the 90s. Somebody said, James, you mean the 1890s? No, I'm not that long. I've been around that long. There was a movie by that Richard Dreyfuss was in. It was called Mr. Holland's Opus. I don't know if anybody had seen that movie. Really great movie. And he was a musician and a composer, and he decided to take a job as a teacher so he could pay his bills and have a roof over his head, because his real goal in life was to compose an original piece of music to leave his mark on the world, his opus, a long piece of music that was going to make a difference and last forever. But somewhere along the way, he discovered that life happens to you while you're busy making other plans. And many years went by, and he never got a chance to really present his opus to the world like he had thought he was. But something else unfolded along the way, because he was doing what his heart told him he should do. At some point, he really got into teaching the students around him. And he started really giving them lessons in life as well as music. And he created a new definition of what success was, because he taught students who went on to do great things in their lives, and it made a great difference in their world, in the respective parts of the world they happened to be in. And so he cultivated his gifts and his talents. And at the end of the movie, all of his former students came back, and they were telling him how much he impacted their lives. Some of them were doctors and senators and important people. Some of them were just regular folks, but it made a difference in them. And so he honed in on his gifts. He honed in on his talents, and it spread like wildfire in a way that he did not imagine. And I think the message to us, we simply go for it. We go for whatever our dreams are. And we're changing the thought atmosphere in which we are living. And we're neutralizing the thought forms, it can't be done, or impossibility thinking, and we're opening up something greater to come through us. Well, as I kind of close out today, because I know we're going to have our meeting shortly, sometimes it's easy to do that when things are going right. You know, the paths are smooth and we're feeling good. And like I say, you know, we wake up in the morning and we get in the car and all the lights turn green at the right time when we come to the intersection. We just got it going on. So it's easy to say, yes, I'm going to affirm myself. I'm going to affirm the goodness that's around me all the time. But someone asked me a question once. What do you say to a person that possibly is going through some challenges in life? Maybe they have some challenges with cash flow, and they lost their job, and they're experiencing limitation. They feel a sense of hopelessness, and everything seems to be bleak in that life moment for them, and there seems to be despair everywhere. And I said that, we need to be aware that spiritual law says that how we look at a particular situation determines what it is for us. It determines our thoughts that come through us, because those thoughts can be creative. As Jesus said, it's done unto you as you believe. So I say to all of us who have maybe had those down moments, where we're not fully loving ourselves in the moment, we must begin to realize that we're in a great adventure called life. And we begin to see it from a different perspective when we have that as the way that we're looking at it. Different from someone who's afraid because they're going to lose, or afraid of limitation or lack, or not enough resources, not enough time, not enough this. When we're on an adventure, we may not have enough resources at any given moment. We may not have the mobility that we want. We may not have the job. We may not be able to get from A to B. But on an adventure that we are, there's a heightened awareness of this truth called God. And we know on this adventure, and we go out and we know it's going to work out okay. We may not know exactly how it's going to work out, but we hold that in our awareness and we know it's going to be good, because we don't define ourselves by our resources, our circumstances, or what seems to hold us captive. We define ourselves by our inner attitude that's been built up when we affirm the truth of who and what we are. And we say, I'm on an adventure. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but something good is going to happen. And we have that as the activity of our awareness. That's what our life shows up as. So as we move to this Valentine's Day week, we want to practice that platinum rule of love. And so I want to just say a few things to you and take them to heart. And you can say, it's true, thank you. You're beautiful. Some people said it with some conviction, but let's say it like we really mean it. You're beautiful. You're magnificent. The kingdom of God is within you. All you need is within you. And you glow like never before. That is true. So it is, and so we let it be. God bless. Just a reminder that next week we're going to have Donna Appadoni, who's going to come speak on the topic, how to choose the news you use. Many of you may know her from being part of Spiritual Life Center, and if you listen to Capital Public Radio, she's on there every morning, I believe. And I usually listen to her a lot of times I'm coming into the office. And just a reminder, also at 12:45, we're going to have our community meeting, and we invite you to be part of that. So as you prepare to give your gift, your love offering this morning, just remember that you're getting into a flow of a principle that is changeless and unalterable, that as we give, it comes back to us in many different ways. And your giving, if you've given electronically or EFT, by mail, know that you are part of this ever-expanding flow of good. And we're supporting the programs that are here to help us transform lives, supporting our youth ministry and all the things that really make a difference in our life as well as our community. And so with that awareness, I invite you to symbolically raise it to the heavens, the ever-expanding good that's always around us. And let's say our offertory blessing together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
Wanted to let you know that the lunch that the choir is serving in the bake sale, it's happening in the kitchen, so you can, if you get there quickly, you'll have a place to sit down. And there's some yummy looking food in there.
Yes.
And also, I'd like to dare you to stay seated on this one.
Double dog dare you.
Double dog dare you.
Dog dare you. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'm living in the house of the soul's belonging, where you know without a doubt that you made it home. We're living in the house of the soul's belonging, yeah. Coming back to the holy ground that you've always known. In the kingdom of love, there is no competition, no contradiction, and no control. But you can take possession and claim your passion. Working on a building that cannot be bought or sold. We're living in the house of the soul's belonging, where you know without a doubt that you made it home. Well, we're living in the house of the soul's belonging, yeah. We're coming back to the holy ground that you've always known. Step into the feeling of sweet surrender. Well, let yourself remember, well, who you are. Well, you can take your own sweet time and ease your troubled mind in the secret sanctuary of your heart, where we're living in the house of the soul's belonging, where you know without a doubt that you made it home. Living in the house of the soul's belonging, coming back to the holy ground that you always know. There is room for all the kindness you can hold. And you know you can take it with you everywhere you go. Living in the house, the soul's belonging, where you know without a doubt, well, that you made it home. We're living in the house of the soul's belonging, coming back to the holy ground that you always know. Back now, coming back to the holy ground that you've always known. come back to the holy ground that you've always known. Thank you.
Back to the holy ground that we've always known. That's right where we are. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. So we bless the tithes and offerings, knowing we're going to bless the givers, the receivers, as well as this community. And we're grateful for the opportunity to participate in raising our own awareness to make a difference in our world, because we are the world. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. And with that, let us join together and sing our peace song. And I now invite you to join in and deepen this awareness as we